go through them one by one quickly. Accordingly, in our fourth term, the ULP government will, 1, elaborate further the plans to build a modern city at Annisvale and the most viable additional road transportation connection between it and Kingston. Fail. That is a big fat F. Construct a boardwalk, cultural center, and modern market shops in the area of Chinatown and the waterfront. Renovate Little Tokyo and generally clean up Kingston. Lion! They want to start me, you know. You know, a lot of them feel Bramble is a newcomer to politics and you know we're going on. But where they forget, Bramble is from the ghetto. Bramble is a street man, and Bramble went to the University of Life. So they have to come better than that. Here what they're talking about again. Extend, modernize, and relocate the cruise ship board to accommodate the large cruise ships and expand the terminal facilities at a new location at Annisvale. Lie! It's right here, but yet, they want to come and tell me that a water park down Sion Hill Bay is not feasible. They must be out of their cotton picking minds. They have to be out of their minds. But you know the problem is, when you're bankrupt of ideas, all you could do is sit and criticize and oppress the poor, as culture say. Again, this is what they said. They will explore actively plans to build a cruise ship facility in North Leeward. They don't go on and thief Brother Patel idea. Put it in the manifesto, and up to now, not even a proper wharf they don't North Leeward. Who they fooling? I gotta tell you again, jobs. This is the ULP manifesto 2015. Jobs. They said, in our fourth, my people, I want you to listen carefully, because I am only the messenger. I am only the messenger. In our fourth term, the target is to create at least 9,000 jobs in 5 years. An unemployment rate of 26% with a youth unemployment rate of 46%. Where the 9,000 jobs there? This is realizable given the opening of the international airport, the geothermal development. Oh Lord, do you guys want me to talk about geothermal? Not tonight. The port modernization and extension of the cruise ship failure. The major tourism developments in Mount Twin Peters Hope, failure. The initiatives in agriculture, fisheries, manufacturing, ICT, failure. So when you understand why we have such a high level of unemployment, it's because there's no economic activity to generate employment. And as a result of that, our economy is stagnant. As I said on a previous occasion, we are at rock bottom. If we go lower than this, we will be going underground. Our economy, the economy of this country, is at rock bottom. You understand what I'm saying to you? Anything lower than this is going underground. Let them come and refute it. Let them bring their plans to show how they're going to turn it back. There aren't any plans. We have plans. And on another occasion, I'm going to go through some of the failures. In the interest of time, I'll stop tonight. But the NDP in government will bring hope to this country. And when we talk about hope, we are not just talking about some philosophy, some idea. We have practical ways of expressing how we are going to bring hope. HOPE, helping our people excel. We have an initiative that would create 250 businesses and 5,000 jobs by 2025. And I know some people say, Bramble, stay away from the figures, don't get into too much details. Well, as an economist, I do my homework and I do my research. And I have to present my research professionally. So when people come and try to question my credibility, then they will have to think twice. And that is why I get into some of the details sometimes. Hope will target young people and women, and it will create opportunities in business from every conceivable sector. Information technology, robotics, agriculture and agri-value, tourism, performing arts, you name it, opportunities will be provided. It will be capitalized with $10 million and eventually upscaled and upgraded to $100 million. Sources of funding would be various. Our CBI program, foreign direct investment, Vincentians in the diaspora, local business people will all contribute to the success of Hope. And the Hope program will be administered primarily by a youth parliament which will be established by this government. By this NDP government. That youth parliament will run with that Hope program and make it work. Not like a prime program that is an election gimmick. You know? And I'm not bad talking the prime. I thought it was a good idea, but it was just completely, it was badly structured and badly implemented. Hope will be the complete opposite of that. Remember, you know, the New Democratic Party, during its time in government, created the highest level of economic growth in this country. In 1988, under New Democratic Party government, St. Vincent and the Grenadines experienced a 5.9% growth in GDP. The highest ever. The lowest that we have ever experienced was in 2012 and 2013, minus 0.6% economic growth. Who been in government in 2012 and 2013? It certainly was not the New Democratic Party. In East Kingston, we have a lot of plans to create jobs, to develop our constituency, and to really make East Kingston a powerful constituency as it once was. I will give you very quickly one of the examples. The water park down Sion Hill. And I know a lot of people, when you hear the Prime Minister going on NBC and talking about the water park, you know it hit him hard. You know it hit him hard. Yeah? The water park, look, in St. Lucia, they have a water park called Splash Island Water Park. In Jamaica, and I was at this one, they have a water park in Jamaica called Cool Runnings Water Park in Negril. So what happened to St. Vincent? With the was? Why can't we have a water park just the same way? When last have you been down to the Sion Hill Bay? That bay has been almost completely destroyed because of sea erosion, which is as a result of climate change. We have an opportunity to mitigate against that. I am not the technical expert, I am not the environmentalist, I'm the economist. And I'm telling you, and on another occasion I will get into some of the more technical details. In the interest of time I wouldn't. But that water park will create 150 jobs during construction and 60 jobs to operate and maintain it. It will provide opportunities for business people, restaurants, shops, bars, crafts, our crafts people, and so on. You know, so that is just one. That is just one of the many. But as I said before, in the interest of time, I will get into some more later on. The bottom line is, this New Democratic Party, our message is clear, crystal clear. We are going to create jobs that are going to improve the lives of every single Vincentian. That is our plan. Plain and simple. What is the plan of the Unity Labour Party? What is the plan of the Unity Labour Party? The love box, Major, say, I ain't gonna go down there. I tried to stay above the belt, but Major, you're more experienced than me. You could talk about that later. Listen, today, not more than 2 hours ago, I was up in Rockies doing house to house, and I engaged some ULP supporters. They told me they are ULP supporters, and we were talking, and I was outlining some of the plans for the constituency. And I said to them, what are the plans of my opponent? You know what one of them told me? He ain't had no plan, but he go beat you still. Is that what the people of East Kingston deserve? Come election day, the people of East Kingston will speak, and will speak loudly and clearly. I'm going to wrap up now. And I want to use a football analogy. As you all know, I played football for Sion Hill. I played in Beckway. I played in Bottom Tongue. I played in Calico. But my proudest moment was when I represented this country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in football. Major Leacock played a very significant role in my success as a footballer as well. In many ways, as the president of the Football Association, as a mentor. When I got my scholarship to go overseas to play soccer at university, Major Leacock was the president of the Football Federation, and the late, great John Horn was the vice president. I was in Guyana playing at one time, and I got a phone call in the hotel. John Horn called me and said he got a letter from a university in Virginia, in the USA. I said, well, Mr. Horn, open it and tell me what is what. I was offered a scholarship. So football is there and near to me. And here's the football analogy. Because after my playing days, I also became a coach. When you have somebody on your team, a striker, who gets 19 clear chances and goal and fail to score one, time to substitute them. Substitution time, Mr. Referee. Time to substitute the ULP. They're missing too many goals. Time for the New Democratic Party to come on the field with fresh legs and score goals. Goals of jobs, goals of economic growth, goals of better health care. Time for the New Democratic Party to make St. Vincent and the Grenadines what it once was. The gem of the Antilles. When the bell is rung, go out and vote. If you have not registered, register. Talk to your neighbor, talk to your mommy, talk to your brother, talk to your sister. Make sure they are registered and vote overwhelmingly. Make sure we vote overwhelmingly so any kind of hanky-panky that goes on can't take root. That is how we will do it this time around. The New Democratic Party will take this country in the right direction under the leadership of Dr. Godwin Friday, and all of Team NDP. We will make you proud, we will make you happy, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines will move forward once again. Thank you, my people. God bless you, and I love you. Good night.
The change is coming. We want the change is coming. Shout out here.
Team Bramble, come on and make some noise. East Kingston, East Kingston.
If you want the country to prosper,
Well, hey now,
work for $1. Your children,
that is the Lionel Messi right there of the New Democratic Party. That's the Lionel Messi right there of the New Democratic Party. And you see when he strike ball, it's straight goal. Straight goal. The New Democratic Party tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say this. Let me say this. I want you all here in the hall, and those of you listening and viewing in the comforts of your home and wherever you are, to pay close attention to the campaign strategy of these two political organizations of the New Democratic Party and the ULP. Clearly, one is about nasty gutter politics, insults, ridicule, broken promises, lies, and manipulation. The New Democratic Party is about hope, prosperity, plans, jobs, and more jobs. That is what is important when you go to the polls. Let me give you another example before I bring up the next speaker. Fitzbramble talk about Water Park. I say thank you very much to the Major for nudging me and reminding me that in Parliament, they said that part of the Sanders Resorts plan and the reason why they acquired additional land was part of the plan was to include a water park. But guess what? Sanders and them could come and build water park, but Fitzbramble and the New Democratic Party can't build water park in East Kingston. But the New Democratic Party is about thinking outside the box, and we will get the plans done, ladies and gentlemen, and we will do it right in this country. Now, with that being said, and we're moving on, because hey now, we kill it, we hitting them with the truth tonight. It is truth, plans, and more plans in the backside tonight. And the next speaker I'm going to bring to the stage is another one from the time they heard his name. Like Major and Cummins say, they want to put the hands on the head and ball. Because the people in Maracua say, we want Wiley! We want Wiley! Please welcome to the podium the man who will be bringing it home for Maracua. Please make some noise and welcome for Mr. Bernard Wiley!
Turn upside down, yeah. I've been cast aside and been despised. But I'm Daniel in the lion's den, Jonah in the belly of the whale. I'm not alone, so I cannot.
Pleasant good night, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasant good night to all those listening to us across the world. A very pleasant good night to Vice President, the Honorable Major Leacock, our distinguished Chairman, the Honorable Donald Cummins, to our fellow colleagues and friends, fellow candidates. I want to say a very special good night to the people of Maracua who are listening here tonight. Those who are in the house, and those who are in Riley, Evesham, Kilburnie, Carre, Mount Pleasant, Canaan, Lacqua, Acres, Mesopotamia proper, Glenside, Sears, Hopewell, Richland Park, Freeland, Montague, and Carruth. Tonight, as people from the most picturesque valley in St. Vincent, we are here to bring you a very straight message. And the message tonight is, Maracua is ready for the New Democratic Party. That's the simple message. Everywhere we have been throughout the last couple of weeks, we have been warmly welcomed by the people in the villages. The reason is they are not satisfied with the type of representation they have had over the last 19 years. Maracua is now a shadow of its former self. The once breadbasket of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has now been reduced to a basket with fruit, with very few. Well, somebody said the basket is empty. but with very few things in it. On Tuesday, I journeyed up to Montreal. And my friends, when I look at the roads where we have the best agricultural lands in Marikor, it was a shame. I chatted with several farmers on the way, and they were complaining about the condition. Those farmers there are hardworking people. And they were asking me a question. In the last election, the New Democratic Party promised that we will resuscitate the banana industry. We will put 1,000 acres of bananas in cultivation. We promise that during the time the cultivation is coming to maturity, we will give the farmers $500 a month as a subsistence allowance. The other side said they will double. Where are the 2,000 acres that they promised to the farmers of this country? They have promised that. But the farmers cannot even get a chance to buy the inputs to put in the fields. And so we are having problems in that sector. The reason why I'm here tonight is because of the fact that the people of Marikor, as I said earlier on, are fed up with the type of representation they have been receiving since I left Marikor. I devoted much time to the development of that constituency. And when they compare 19 years of the ULP in Marikor with 10 years of the New Democratic Party, the NDP performance in 10 years, by any measure, was better. By any measure, was better. The people of Marikor have called me back to the stage because they know that I'm a man of my word. They know that I'm concerned about their welfare. And they also know that I am part of a team that has delivered in the past and will deliver again. We have a team of tested and tried leaders. We are led by a man who has demonstrated his leadership capabilities. We are led by someone who believes and adhere by democratic principles. Dr. Godwin Friday has demonstrated that he is ready to lead St. Vincent and the Grenadines to a better future. And he will be ably assisted by men and women who are devoted to this country. And so I say to you, the people of St. Vincent, the people of the various constituencies, you can trust the New Democratic Party with the leadership of this country. After 19 years, it is time for this regime to go. That is it. That is the feeling I'm getting in the constituency. They are saying 5 more years. The people said, take your 4 and go. That is what they are saying out in the constituencies. Take your 4 years and go. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier on, in Marikwa we have beautiful soil. We would like to see our fertile agricultural land be put to good use. We don't want the situation to continue where our hard-working farmers work, till the soil, and then cannot find market for their produce. In the early days and under the New Democratic Party, we had marketing boards where people can go and sell their produce. The marketing board were responsible then, boards were responsible then for finding market for farmers' produce. Now the farmers are on their own to do that. We are saying that we in the Democratic Party, in the New Democratic Party, will be there for the farmers of this country. We are saying that we will be there for you. Some nights ago, my colleague Patel, our lead person on agriculture, has outlined a number of proposals that the New Democratic Party has in store for the farming community. But I also want to fight to secure more processing plants for produce in the constituency. We cannot only be satisfied with just planting. We have to move into secondary forms of production, processing, adding value to what we are doing so that our farmers can make more money to maintain themselves and their children. The current government has made many promises in this regard, but they have failed. In the constituency of Marikwa, many of our young people are crying out for proper sporting facilities. Crying out for proper sporting facilities. In Canaan, our premier park in Marikwa is in the worst condition I have seen it in over 20-something years. Worse. And it is still the place where the young people go and play. This weekend, they will be opening another of their sporting activity. We have tried grass there before. I did grass that park many years ago. And I think the time has come when I will have to, as I'm looking into the future, when I will have to look at the engineers to find a better solution for a surface in that park. We'll have to look at the engineers to give us a solution. Because when the Labour Party took over that field many years ago, they dug it down so fast, so far down, is that they dug off all the topsoil and went straight down to the bedrock. And it became very difficult to grow grass. Maybe we need to look at something much more artificial so that the young people of that country could have some kind of a surface somewhere out there to play and play more their football and their cricket more securely. Not only there's a need for a playing field in an upgrade in Canaan, but in Richland Park also, we need a playing field in the largest community in the Marikwa Valley. Richland Park does not have a good playing field to play cricket and football. I am saying to you, the youths of Richland Park, that the New Democratic Party will provide you in Cotton Ground a good playing field for you to play your sports. Not only are we going to provide a proper playing field, we are going to provide a proper lighted playing field so that you can play and exercise and develop your talents there in that community. You listened to Fitz Bramble a while ago. He got a football scholarship, and he is now not only a sportsman and a footballer, but a competent economist. Sports, responsible for that. Ladies and gentlemen, not only in Richland Park, we are talking about that. The young ladies of the constituency, we do not have there a proper playing a proper field, a hard court, so that they can play and develop their skills. We have produced some of the best netballers in this country, in the Francis sisters and others. Today, we are not producing the kind of stars that we produced in the past. We are saying to you tonight, from here, our sports program in the New Democratic Party, we are going to provide proper hard courts in the constituency. We are looking about 2 of them, one in Richland Park and one somewhere over in Evesham, and properly lighted hard courts so that you can develop your skills and make Maracua proud again. Make Maracua proud again. We want to nurture that kind of a talent and develop for our people. I made the observation some time ago that nowhere in the constituency of Maracua do we have a proper playground for our young kids and their parents to go and socialize. Under a New Democratic Party, we are going to provide a playground in Richland Park, and then we are looking for one somewhere in the Evesham area that could really be used between Evesham, Riley, and Correa, so that parents can go there and play with their children. Ladies and gentlemen, the New Democratic Party has plans for our young people, has plans for our farmers, and most importantly, the cry that you hear throughout the constituency. No jobs. Mr. Wiley, I want something to do. I came out of school, I have 11 CXC subjects. I went to the A-level college. I have studied. I've been home now for the last 5 years, and there is nothing. And sometimes when you look at the young folks, my friends, sometimes tears. You sense their frustration. The unemployment and the lack of employment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are driving our young people into depression. They are driving our young people into great frustration. And I'm saying to you, young people, that under a New Democratic Party government, we are putting job creation, using all forms of it, all the strategies we could think about, whether it is in agro-processing, whether it is in IT, all the facilities and all the platforms that we can use and we will use to provide jobs for you, the young people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We cannot allow a 46% unemployment among our young people to continue. It is time for a change in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It is time for us to move forward with the New Democratic Party. Ladies and gentlemen, young people, the little Christmas jobs, the little road work that they are giving you now, all these things are just election gimmicks. They are starting a number of construction programs along the way, try to keep you occupied and to distract you from your real problems. In Collins, they started a back wall. It has been going on over now 7 months, and it is incomplete. Right now, nobody working there. In Correa, right in front of the Richardsons, a drain has been started there 6 months ago. The steel up protruding up in the air. A hazard. Stop. Nothing going on. All around the constituency, the representative there now is trying to be busy. What do you think is the problem? While he's in town? All kinds of piece of work going on everywhere, trying to bamboozle our young people to say now they are creating jobs. But all of these things, my friend, are just election gimmicks. They want you to forget your frustration and your pain for the last 19 years. Last 19 years of neglect in the constituency. They want you to forget. But I'm saying to you, All the love box, I think the love box have stopped coming now. I passed by the place where the love box were being packages, and I see it is kind of a close. All these are election gimmicks. The board and the galvanized, the lumber, all those are gimmicks, my friends. Let us cast our vote in this election for sustainable development. Let us cast our vote in this election for sustainable jobs. Let us cast our vote in this election for a government of and by the people. Let us cast our vote for the New Democratic Party. Let us stand strong and put St. Vincent and the Grenadines working again. Thank you and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Pauline, rescue mission time.
Come on, Mariqua, get up and dance. Come on, Mariqua.
Country,
Hey.
SPG. We have a problem. Time for it to end.
Chase all those corrupt men.
The ULP.
Well done, Mariqua.
Both faces can be.
All right. All right, Mariqua, let behave for yourself. Wiley coming to town. Wiley coming to town. And we painting the whole of Mariqua yellow. And when we done, we haven't pity any mass. Hey now, Mariqua, let me talk to the folks in Mariqua here for a second. All you tell me if it's true. I hearing some rumors in Mariqua that because the New Democratic Party bring back Wiley, they're trying to bring back Yolin Miguel. Well, hey now, with Jimmy is Bazodi, with Gyoli is even more Bazodi, because Wiley going to beat them both ways coming in Mariqua. We bringing it home, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We're going to move along. The next speaker that I'm going to bring to the podium, ladies and gentlemen, is my neighbor in East St. George. East St. George is here. If I just peep over the hill, if I peep over the boundary, he's right over there, looking straight in the porch. I consider him a friend and a warrior, ladies and gentlemen. Today, he showed just how versatile he is as host of the New Times program today, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together and welcome to the podium from South Windward, Brother Noel Dixon.
I wasn't going to say nothing, cause I know what some of all you go say. But I can't stand by any longer and watch my country going this way. The affairs of the state in chaos, causing citizens too much pain. So to hell with who vex and whatever come next, I ain't staying quiet again. No, this land is yours, but it's mine also. And the future lies in our hands. I want you to know that this government that we put in charge, incompetence is created.
Yes, incompetence is what you can use as the label for this regime that is ruling St. Vincent and Grenadines. Incompetence. Good night. Good night. Good night. To the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines, here in St. Vincent and those in the diaspora, I must say good night to the leadership of the New Democratic Party, those who are present here and those who are not. I want to really recognize our Vice President, Major Sinclair Leacock, the Honorable. I will also recognize our well-abled chairman, the waterman, the man who continued to be one of the strong men of the New Democratic Party, Honorable Daniel Cummins. And you see the name that he has, Daniel. Those of us who know about the Bible will know how effective a man that was, Daniel in the lion's den. Right? I want to also recognize all the other honorable individuals, the senators. We have the man from Union Island with us also, Honorable Terence Oliver. At one time, I don't know if it's still the case, but Union Island was known for some of the best cornfish you can talk about in St. Vincent Grenadines. So folks, it will not be right of me if I continue to make my presentation without saying good night to the wonderful people in South Windward. South Windward. And to set the tone for my presentation, I want to say that the present regime that is ruling St. Vincent Grenadines has reached its expiry date. It expired. The first time I encounter my neighbor from Marquardt, Bernard Wiley, is at the time when he was in public health and I was in the Department of Labor. We would have attended some training together in occupational safety and health. But one of the tasks that he had as a health inspector was to go around also to the supermarkets and see where there are items on the shelves that were expired. And what you do with them? You have to make sure you take them off those shelves and dump them. So that is what we have to do with this current regime. They expire and we must dump them. We need to dump them. Simply because it is a regime that is anti-private sector. It is a regime that sets out to stifle the private sector. I can recall in 2001, when they were in their high gear, their thrust was to make sure that they destroy P.K. Graves, P.H. Vera, and the Bonadis. But they realized they couldn't make hand with those individuals. So what they did? They bring a person like Bigger Biggs to his knees. And in so doing, affected some of our constituents in South Windward because there were people from Yambu who were working with Bigger Biggs. But he didn't stop there. He went on and he tried to destroy Marcus the Freitas. Now, I'm saying this for us to understand the wickedness of this regime that we have ruling St. Vincent Grenadines. And the way it is affecting not just those business places, but South Windward also. The New Democratic Party, we are concerned about encouraging entrepreneurial atmosphere. We want to facilitate that sort of atmosphere throughout St. Vincent Grenadines and inclusive of South Windward. You may ask yourself, but how are you going to do that? Bernard alluded to it earlier on when we talk about the agro-processing. But South Windward is one of those constituencies that is just conducive for ecotourism. Now, let us talk about, we have Kings Hill, one of the oldest forest reserves in St. Vincent Grenadines. We have Stubbs Bay. Stubbs Bay was one of the places that the Garifuna left from St. Vincent, Main and St. Vincent, went over to Baliso, and then went on to Belize. It has some history. When you consider that bay at Cedars, it has great potential to be developed. And I'm saying that those are two of the beaches that we would give some interest, give some support, and develop towards enhancing those for tourism. This regime has no concern about people developing that level of independence. So their trust, their program is to keep people coming to them with their hands open, as it were, begging handouts. We are saying that given the fact that South Windward is also part of the belt, the agriculture belt, we have quite a bit of farmers there. If you move down from Richmond Park, over where you're going towards Maroon Hill, the shortcut to get down into Simon from Mesopotamia, driving down in that area, you're going to see the amount of ginger that has been planted there. And there is a group of farmers who form themselves into a cooperation in that area who are very much concerned about getting into production. Not just growing the ginger, but adding value. They have tried in the last exhibition they had at the Ghee Shed. They have tried with some ginger jelly. They have tried with some punch of cream with the ginger flavor. And they went like hot bread. One resident said to me that she had some tomatoes. And those tomatoes were looking different to the normal tomatoes that we have. There was something scalloped out of the tomatoes. She consulted her daughter and asked what she should do with them. The daughter suggested, the daughter who is also a chef, suggested that she can use it to make tomato jelly. Tomato jelly. And so she did that. She didn't have enough of that product to sell. I'm saying that to let us know that we have the potential to develop a lot of our produce to added value to something that is more marketable. And it's for this reason that the New Democratic Party, with the leadership or the representation of Noel Dixon in South Windward, we would ensure that we support our farmers to get involved in the added value aspect of our agriculture. One of the things that hurt me very much is that around this time of the year, there is that school program where uniform are given out to students, assistants, and that is good. But in South Windward, we have 5 primary schools. We have 2 secondary schools. Not only do we have schools and children attending schools, but we have tailors and seamstresses in South Windward, and we are saying that give them the job to make those uniforms for the people in South Windward, thereby creating jobs, thereby extending that sort of skill development within South Windward. And by so doing, you are empowering people. You are teaching people to fish rather than wanting to give them a fish continuously. Our people in South Windward are people with pride, like every other person in St. Vincent Grenadines, with pride. They want to know that they are independent, not to be dependent and waiting and a handout here and a handout there. That takes away their dignity. That takes away their feeling responsible. And we are saying that we are going to change that. Folks, we believe very much that we as a party should not be the prime mover of our societies. We see ourselves as the facilitator, the ones who will create the atmosphere, the environment, to facilitate businesses, to allow people to grow. And we have a growing medium-sized business sector in St. Vincent Grenadines, And some of these people are found in South Windward. We have one person who provides or who make peanuts. There are persons who are involved in making plantain chips. And we are saying that we want to give these people the sort of support so that they can expand and expand and expand the persons who are planting plantains will know for sure we have a market for our plantains. And this is what we want. This is what we will create in South Windward. So we want to see business growing there in South Windward. And we're going to do this also by providing the sort of skills that some of our young people need. Because we're talking about jobs, and not just giving people 17 days, some cases 17, some days 14 days out of 365 days. Right? That is not what we are saying that our people need. I'm the person who consider giving the persons just those few days as jobs is a reflection of what value you place on those individuals. And we in the New Democratic Party, we are saying that our people are our high valued asset. And we are going to invest in our people to make things better for them, not to make things worse. One of the fears that have been instilled in the people in South Windward, they're saying to them that if you are to vote for the New Democratic Party, they're going to take away your job. Nonsense. Fear-mongering. We are not about making things worse for anyone. We are about making lives better for our people, not bitter. Because, book it sure, should this country go forward anymore with a regime as this one, proper smoke we pipe. One individual said to me that he finds it very difficult to live on a month-to-month basis under this regime, much more another 5 years. And that is the cry, that is the sentiment being expressed by many of our people in South Windward. So as I always end, I say, people in South Windward, Noel Dixon recognized that things hard like hell. But you know what? You're going to break that spell and vote Noel.
Hey! The change is coming. We voting again.
Come on and give it up, South Windward.
Voting again.
You will do well. And vote Noel on election day, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out here.
The New Democratic Party is going to make a difference in this country, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you to continue to echo the mantra of the NDP this election. Jobs, 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 and more jobs for the people of this country. There is hope with the New Democratic Party. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, on the last virtual meeting, she stick it to them. And she's here again tonight to continue to stick it to the ULP and expose them with their failure and their continued failure in this upcoming general elections. Just like I said, Noel is my neighbor over here in East St. George. She's my neighbor over there in West St. George. Please welcome to the podium, ladies and gentlemen, Senator Kay Bacchus Batiste, one of the lovely ladies that make up the strong feet.
My tomorrow must be greater than today.
His hands are not short that it cannot reach to you. His eyes are never blind, he cannot see your teeth. His ears are not deaf that he cannot hear you cry. Your tomorrow must be greater than today. Your tomorrow must be greater than today.
No matter what I face, no matter what I see,
No matter what comes my way.
Wonderful audience in the hall. Thank you so very much. You are full of energy tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night, especially to my fabulous people of West St. George. Thank you, Major. Your tomorrow will be greater than today. That is a promise from the NDP. Your tomorrow will be brighter than today. St. Vincent and the Grenadines cannot afford 5 more years of ULP. 5 more years of Ralph and Camillo and the Gonzales family. We cannot afford 5 more years of victimization, joblessness, oppression, suppression. And that is why we are here, the NDP, to make St. Vincent work again. I am here to make West St. George work again. We believe that we are all connected as one people. Don't believe them when they speak about the labor love and labor now. That is divisive. We say Vinci love, one people, one nation. As long as any one of us hurt, all of us hurt. So don't worry with their divisiveness. Even as I am speaking to you, they are seeking ways to divide us. They are busy trying to tear us apart. Once you belong to the NDP, once you come out, book it. You're going to hear you being vilified, denigrated, defamed. We are better than that. The NDP does not have to do that. They are using the NIS, the National Lottery, and even Invest SVG to campaign with. My understanding is that about $12 million last election between the NIS and the National Lottery was spent as campaign funds, and they're doing it again. Don't be fooled, people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That is your money they're taking to trap you, to enslave you. We say no, no to that. What about all those VINLEC workers who have gone home without getting their pension? Or even the workers from Bukamu and Bay? We say correct that historical wrong. Pay the workers. Don't take our money to campaign against us. You are campaigning with our money against us. I mean us, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So instead of doing that, think about the failed policies of this ULP government. Well, Brother Fitz elaborated on some of them. So I will just briefly mention, of course, the geothermal energy, $10 million from VINLEC sunk into that project, gone. A new hospital that was promised, a national stadium, a national arts theater, the revival of the banana industry, the city at Arnesville, all failed policy. Like Brother Fitz said, a big F for them. What are they going to come with now? Can you believe a single word from these people? We say, enough, no more. Now, my people, would you remember that at my first meeting this year, the village meeting at Gumi, I said, look out for the campaign propaganda. They're going to be circulating rumors and lies and fake news like the Russian style. This is what they are doing. There's an underground organization, especially especially created to vilify Vincentians, especially progressive Vincentians. We say that those haters and those users and those propagandists of the ULP, do not listen to them. The more you malign us, the more you try to divide us, the more you denigrate us, the stronger we'll become. You will not scare us, the stronger we will become. Now, my opponent, I don't have a problem with my opponent. The problem with my opponent is that he is NDP to his soul. I have heard him espouse so many NDP policies. How is he going to now make that switch? I want you to listen to this. Listen to what he has to say about the education revolution. Listen.
To provide not only us, people with relevant information, but also to guide the ministry's policy. In other words, so that they could advise the policy makers on direction. Now, I am happy that the schools have done well. But you see, what most of the time the general public hears is that we have 90% pass rate, 30% pass rate, and so on. But as a real educator, you have to be concerned when you hear that schools are sending 22 persons, 18 persons for O-level. Not when none of these schools would have started with, say, less than 60 persons. And I'm being conservative. Less than 60 persons. So you can't tell me 5 years after, we are satisfied to hear that we have 79% pass rate, but only this small number, right? It can't be right. And I'm saying that it's high time now that we start to seek to find out where these other students disappear to. Where are they? Are they still in the school system? Are they employed somewhere? I mean, let us try, because all these will help to guide policies. And I always say it's unfair to schools like the Girls High School, the St. Vincent Grammar School, and I might even add West St. George, because, I mean, we don't send less than 47 and 50, although quite a number of students who start might not think, but 47 and 51 would look more respectable than 18 and 22 and 28. I mean, this can't something seriously wrong.
I think there's one school where they said there were some 123 students, and only 98 of them went missing. I think they could never come to 98 of them. And that I made the same point also, that when you send that amount of children and you say, oh, we had a 90% pass mark, pass rate and that kind of thing, you ask how many really went and
Now, you understand what this man is saying? This is a man who is the principal of grammar school and retired. And he's saying that the education revolution has failed because most of the children disappear in the school system. Where are they? If 90 children enter, only 30 take the exam. And then you brag that you have 70% passes. What can he tell you, my people of West St. George? Listen again to what he has to say about the NIS. This is a brief one.
There's only one single time in this country there was an attempt to negotiate salaries with the public service.
That's in 1999.
And that is just before the crisis, in 1998, 2000, when the NDP finance minister, Arnold Eustace, at the time, that's the only time there was an attempt. All the governments before, James Mitchell and now Ralph Gonsalves administration, all of them have been legislating salaries.
But the point I'm making,
so in this one, this clip is not the clip I wanted, but it doesn't matter. This one, he's criticizing the government, his government that he's now joining. He's saying that they do not have bargaining with the public servants. This is a teacher. And there are others. At another occasion, I'd play the one where he said the government is wicked for what they're doing in the NIS. How can he now seek to represent you? My people, I am not here because I want to eat a food. And I certainly was not paid $800,000 to run. None of us on the NDP platform have been paid money to run. We do it because we genuinely want to see a better St. Vincent. Mama K is here to meet your needs. Mama K is here because I care, not because I was paid to be here. So let me just give you briefly some of my plans for West St. George. I have a document that was prepared, West St. George Constituency Program. I do not have time to go through all of them, but I will just give you some of them. Create jobs in West St. George. My plan for West St. George will see us host an annual national exhibition to showcase our exceptional agricultural and cottage industries with a view to expand job creation within these sectors. Loans from the Development Bank will help small businesses from every sector to grow so that they can employ more local people and will allow them to benefit from business advice to give them the best chance of success. My plan for job creation in West St. George will see no one left behind. To this extent, I have started a database recording names and addresses and contact numbers of persons who are unemployed and are seeking jobs. And I have already placed about 5 persons in the construction industry from that database. And we intend to continue that database. So if persons want a plumber, a musician, a farmer, an electrician, whatever, we will have a database so that you can call and you can be placed. We intend to use local resources to rebuild our manufacturing industry. Use sustainable wood from Mahogany Mountain to build our furniture industry. We will build a facility to bottle spa water from Gomez Spa for the local and export markets. We will inject a new lease of life into West St. George's manufacturing industries and create jobs and opportunities. Invigorate the agricultural sector. We need to support our agricultural sector. The road to development begins with the development of roads. We acknowledge that, and that is why we will fix the roads throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are going to rehabilitate and open roads for farmers so that they can move their crops and livestock from their farmlands across the constituency. Food security and growth within the sector will be encouraged by establishing and encouraging livestock rearing, cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, etc., through providing funding and technical advice. Agriculture is part of the backbone of St. Vincent, and we say we will support our agricultural economy. We will highlight the natural beauty of West St. George. We will promote the natural beauty of West St. George, including scenic drives to Fenton Mountain, Green Hill, Queens Drive, Dorsetshire Hill, Airy Mountain, etc. This will increase tourism and passing trade for local businesses and provide a platform to sell where persons can go and sell their goods and services. Provide skills training at the community centers. Rehabilitate and update the Loan Clinic in Bel Air. And of course, our pet project, my pet project, West St. George Splendid FM. We have a diverse and talented group of musicians and DJs, etc., mixologists in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This talent should be nurtured so that it can make the most of our local artists. They should not have to travel to other countries to explore their talent. So we have begun work. It's on its way. We have purchased the equipment. We have the house, and we are developing the West St. George Splendid FM radio and recording studio. But before I go, I want to remind my people of the need to register, the need to go out and vote. As was said to you tonight, we must go out and vote overwhelmingly for the key. Do not stay at home. We want you to be the change that will be led by Dr. Friday and his elegant, eligible team of Vincentians, his other 14 candidates. We say, be the change, SVG, vote the key. Be the change, SVG, vote the key. Be the change, SVG, vote the key. You be the change. Good night and thank you, my people.
Shout out, yeah. If you want the country to prosper and you want to work for $1,
come on and give it up for Senator K. Bacchus Batiste. West St. George coming home. West St. George coming home. Hey now. When you listen to the members of the New Democratic Party speak on this platform, you could tell clearly the ones who coming home for the New Democratic Party. And in my eyes, it is all 15 coming home for the New Democratic Party. All 15. What a team. What a team, ladies and gentlemen. The next speaker that I'm going to bring to the platform, ladies and gentlemen, is always a serious and dynamic speaker. When he is not fiery and bringing the facts to the people of this country and ponging the ULP for their mismanagement and their lack of accountability, he's also a speaker who knows how to bring the message home and in the household, to the average man and the average woman, to the boys on the block, to the hard-working men and women of this country. Please put your hands together tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Vice President of the New Democratic Party, the representative for Central Kingston. Please welcome the Major, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been battered, bruised and torn, but I'm still here. Some days my life, it was filled with fear. Oh, but I'm still here. So many times I had to fight just to stay in the right. I have failed so many times, oh, but I'm still here.
Yes, the Major is still here. As you would notice, I played the B-side of my Come Down Father. And when I'm not using it, my chairman, I gotta make sure it's kept alive every Monday and Thursday. We are still here. I changed the theme tonight from the Come Down Father because the way I want to speak to you doesn't quite fit in with the Come Down Father, prayerful as it is. Chairman Daniel, good night. My parliamentary colleagues, Honorable Senator Bruce K. Baptiste, the congressman himself, cornfishman sometimes, selling salt these days too. The Minister of Education, Gumboat, Honorable Terence Oliver. I want you to know who I'm speaking about. Used to be the baby of the party one time, but he's growing up now. You ain't a baby anymore? I see. I agree with you. Bernard, good to be in the company. Fitz, I have a special presentation whenever your constituency is holding a meeting. I promise you that. Dixon, very good today. I am glad for the rising confidence and to know you're coming home. I only have a few minutes for you tonight, so I don't have the opportunity to get into any great depth, but I want you to give me a listening. My colleagues all have, until this time, spoken about the importance of job creation for the country, job creation for the constituency, and they have been drilling down and speaking in precise terms as to how our beloved party, this great institution, the New Democratic Party, will proceed to build this better St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let me confess that I'm among those who thought we would have had elections in this month. Clearly, that hasn't happened, and normally when a governing party chooses to give up the element of surprise and to catch, as they say, the opposition with their pants down, it's also an indication that they're even worse off than the populace thinks. So very soon, it would be no more of a guessing game. It begs the question as to whether, in fact, elections would then be in October. And that's an important consideration for me, because when you have a phobia, as some people believe the Prime Minister has and the party has, you begin to think in terms of sevens. So if it's not going to be the 7th of October, then you want to know when next. Now, the way I think is that the one time per year he is able to evoke some emotion in the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is October the 27th, when there's national independence. And so the jury also has to be out whether we would have an election in October, or whether you will seize that opportunity to masquerade around the independence celebrations, have the children waving their banners, deliver a set of goodies, and to proceed to some date. Well, I'm taking through all of that journey, which is irrelevant to my presentation tonight. Simply to make the point that with all that has been said, and that all that is left to be said, we must never lose sight in our blessed land that we are about 150 square miles, just over 100,000 people. In the United States of America or in the international world, St. Vincent would easily fit into some of the high-rise buildings. Certainly, we can't fill some of the stadiums in America and England and in Australia and Canada. Very small indeed. And that smallness is supposed to represent the fact that we are a vulnerable people, vulnerable to storms, to hurricanes, natural disasters. We have no gold, no diamond, limited minerals, and that it's fairly easy for us to catch us because our size speaks to that. The good news is that our people at home and abroad have consistently reminded us, and maybe I can do like Fitz and borrow a football term, it's not the size of the country that counts, but the quality of the people. And our people have consistently demonstrated, whether it's here, there, or anywhere for that matter, our resilience, our honesty, our integrity, and our ability to work very hard and to make something of themselves. And we've done that very well. One of the things that our people have never bargained for, historically or otherwise, you go back to McIntosh, Joshua, Cato, even Mitchell, is for a small island permanently divided, and divided in the manner in which it makes the coming together of the people its greatest resource, virtually an impossibility, thereby creating a level of stagnation and underdevelopment. No amount of politicking, virtual meetings, public meetings, and presentations in our country must ever ignore the fact that one of the worst atrocities and or experience of our people over the last 19 years, virtually 20, has been the extent to which singularly a political leader and a political party has almost permanently divided our people. Divided us that today, as we are on the verge of election, and before we can even get to job creation and all the lofty ideals, we are labor police, labor nurse, labor doctor, labor permanent secretary, NDP funeral, NDP wedding, NDP station, labor station, and the list goes on and on. In other words, inverted commas, the most successful experience that the Unity Labour Party has had in the last 20 years is to divide St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that's important because it is rightfully captured in the mantra of our esteemed leader, Dr. Friday. One nation, one people, one Vinci. And we must not take lightly that we have to commit to a united St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As Obama would have said, not a blue state, not a red state, but the United States of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I submit to you, if we fail in that very simple task, that exercise, however grandeur our plans are, the likelihood of the more jobs, the better jobs, and the prosperous future for our children and grandchildren becomes dimmer and dimmer. And so while you applaud and support and encourage us on a regular basis for all of these programs that we are unfolding to you, let us not lose sight of the importance of uniting our people and marching in unison to the promised land of a better St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, the late John Horn of West Kingstown, who, with the authority of the Prime Minister of the day, Sir James Mitchell, was on the right track when New Democratic Party's life was cut short. He understood and had a committee put in place to address a fundamental pillar of national development. You see, the younger generation may not appreciate it as easily as we can. But in my elder statesman years, I must remind you that before 1979, when we spoke about activities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it's a proud period of our history too, people spoke about making the island side. In fact, people bragged about making trials. Not the team, trials. They were called and selected and considered to represent us in football, cricket, netball, athletics, whatever it is. But the reference was to an island side. Lavon, the word national came into being only 79. We had the National Commercial Bank, National Properties, National Society of the Blind, National this, National that, National the other. If in fact the Prime Minister was to proceed to hold an independence parade in October, the single most ingredient that would be missing from the handouts and the goodies would be that after 20 years, no group of intention, no individual, no institution would be singled out for recommendation, for promotion, and an award of a kind that had been recognized and legislated in our parliament. Every self-respecting society, or let me be more precise, most self-respecting societies has taken the time out to understand the importance of national development and national awards. So that, to use Jamaica for example, Bob Marley, through culture, is not just honorable, but they will cite the Order of Jamaica or something of that kind to say he's represented by the state. And you go through all of the athletes, Usain Bolt and the whole range of them, whether it's in cricket or sports, there's an honoring and a recognition. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, there's only one family that is national. There's only one family that is recognized. And there's only one family that can make, as I call it, the four-step quadrille. From solicitor to ambassador to Minister of Finance and to Prime Minister. No self-respecting country will ever allow that. None. And we are called upon this time in an election to go back deep into the recess of our minds and the hard work and dedication our forebears, our Garifuna, our Macintosh, to say that this is a sacred election. It's a changing of the guards. It's the transformational time for your beloved St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a time when you look closely at all of the candidates, starting with the President of the New Democratic Party, and the competent team and the very solid skill set that is lined up behind him. And the principles and policies that is being outlined tonight and in meetings to come. And that when that fateful day is called, well, it is October, November, or December, and he must call it, that we in the New Democratic Party says, alas, alas, thank God, deliverance time is at hand. And you go to that poll and you mark your X solidly for any representative of the New Democratic Party. And as I've said before, you can do the Baptist thing, you get a little shake off and you say, thank God. we are now on the way to the promised land. Good night, thank you, and God bless you.
Don't you think you need a brighter day? Shout out here.
Central Kingston. Central Kingston in the house. What a sobering message from our Vice President tonight. But I want you and I hope that his message tonight resonates not just with those of you here in the hall, but for those of you who are watching, viewing, and listening online. I hope you understand just how serious and just how important this upcoming general elections is, ladies and gentlemen. That is why I would echo with Major too as well. And to add to it, on election day, as long as you are a supporter of the New Democratic Party, you have absolutely no reason to remain home on that day. On election day, every single supporter of the New Democratic Party must go to the polls and vote to ensure that the NDP forms government in this country. I say that for one reason and one reason only. And I am sure many of the other candidates here tonight would have had this experience as well, going around house to house and door to door. That there have been persons who would have said plain and straight, what, this election, I not think me a vote. No New Democratic Party supporter should utter such words in this upcoming general elections. We make sure that every NDP supporter go to the polls and vote. If you're a Labour and you want to stay home, that is your business. That is your business. But if you want to see a change in this country, and if you are a ULP supporter and you are wavering and you want to see better in your country because your party have failed you, then go to the polls and make the only choice, which is the New Democratic Party, ladies and gentlemen. That is the only how we are going to turn around and change things in this country. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will now put a smile on my face and welcome to the podium the final speaker for tonight. He is the closing batsman. I have grown to admire this man very much, and I call him a friend, ladies and gentlemen. I call him a close and personal friend. And I want to reach out to the folks in the Southern Grenadines who have him more than just a friend for the fight that he continues to fight for the people of the Southern Grenadines, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to education, when it comes to schooling, when it comes to Salt Whistle Bay, when it comes to the overall better development of the people of the Southern Grenadines, Terence Oliver has been leading the charge and will continue to lead the charge for the people of the Southern Grenadines. Please welcome to the podium my good and dear friend in the New Democratic Party, the Honorable Terence Oliver, ladies and gentlemen.
There was a time when all I wanted to only the things that matter to me, yeah. But when a man and a woman builds their home, a man's gotta do what his family needs him to do. That when I come home, everything should be alright. So mommy, hold on.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, on election night, whether it's September, October, November, or December, the central message and the central theme on election night should be NDP is home. NDP is home. And there should be no doubt about that. Because the only way NDP could be home is if all of us get up and say, it is time for a change, it has been too long, we're going to vote and support the New Democratic Party under the leadership of Dr. Friday and the brilliant team that he has put together to manage this country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, thereby making all of our lives better. Because in the New Democratic Party, we are here to work for you. We are here to work for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We are not here for fame, not prosperity. We are here to make sure that at the end of the day, at the end of every term, that the lives of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines improve. Vice President Major Leacock, Chairman Mr. Cummins, other candidates, our GenSec, Mr. James Piero, Ms. King, and don't grudge me, I don't vex when I say Ms. King from the Southern Grenadines. Cannot. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, the central message that has been coming out tonight is the ULP has failed Vincentians time and time again. They have made promises and they fail to keep the promises that they have made. In every constituency, when you go throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can see and witness the dismal failure of the ULP administration. Whether it's education, they have failed. In poverty reduction, they have failed. In infrastructural development, they have failed. Never in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines have the roads throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines been in such deplorable condition. Whatever you want to name it, whatever you put it to, the ULP administration have failed and they must never be given another term in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The ULP government has a long history of broken promises. 19 years is a very long time. It's time for a change in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I'm urging everybody out there to please make that change. You have heard speaker after speaker tonight, and in fact, if you didn't hear the speaker, you in each and every constituency would have experienced what they are talking about in some form or the other. You would have experienced it. You have your children going to school even now. Some parents still flocking up at social welfare, trying to get a little handout to send the children to school. I have been called in this COVID time, especially in the Southern Grenadines. A lot of people have lost their jobs because of the tourism sector. It's not operating, nothing going on. And parents cannot even afford to even spend that little bit of money to pay for the school feeding program. It's a shame in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we must get rid of this government. When you look at unemployment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have been talking it. Every speaker have been alluding to it. But it is time that you see that a new Democratic Party government under the leadership of Dr. Friday and the esteemed team will move us from unemployment to a job creation economy. We cannot afford every day to waste the talents of this generation or any generation at all. And under the ULP, we have lost so many wasted the talent and skills of so many young, bright Vincentians that it's time you put them out the way. As the song last election say, get rid of them and bring in a team who would work for you. At one point in time, I said, well, like Mr. Bramble got a snippet of my speech, because when you look at what the ULP had promised from since they came into governance, and they had all these big glorious ideas, Mrs. Bacchus also, Batiste also listed some of them. the geothermal, the cruise ship boat, the new hospital, the city at Annisvale, the National Stadium. It came on stream 2005, 2015, you bring it up again, and we're still fighting with it, and what we have is just some tracks going around the place. Whatever the ULP had promised, they had even said, after the airport finished, there will be no bad roads in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You remember that? They had said that. Airport done long time, and the roads still in the same condition. Now that election is close, they're running to try to patch a little one in this constituency, a little one in that. They tried to poke fun at Dr. Friday the last time when he highlighted all the roads. They couldn't face the truth. The truth hit them in their faces. They couldn't face it. The same Bajan, Abajan Road in Union, you know what they did? They went to the top of it. They fixed a little piece. They forget all the rest in the middle. They go down to the end, and they try to fix a little piece. And that is what they're doing to try to hoodwink people. You have not delivered on your promises. Now you are here close to election to say, we're doing this for you. We should not be fooled. The people of this country should not be fooled. And wake up on election day bright and early. Line up at each and every constituency and vote, and get rid of the ULP. I want to say this to you. If in 2005 they didn't do it, 2010 they didn't do it, 2015 they didn't do it, 2019 they didn't do it, what gave you the sense or the hope that they're going to do it for another 5 years? They have failed us. What they said they will do, they haven't done. And for that, move them out of the way and give the new Democratic Party the chance to improve St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Look at that now. It's amazing. When I walk through my constituency and I show you have the same experience, our young people sitting on the block. You heard what Mr. Wiley had said to you. They will say they finished secondary school, they had such amount of subjects. They finish college, they have the whatever they did, they have their passes in that. But what are our young people doing? But you know what is ironic? I don't know if you notice it. But in the Grenadines, there are people coming from all over the world. I don't blame them for coming. But they are working. But what our young people doing? They are sitting down on the block. Because you know why? They don't, some of them don't have the little certificate to say, I am certified in this. Okay? And beyond that, the government has stopped short in providing the initiative so our young people can be employed. They have stopped short of doing that. The dropout rate from secondary school so high. Even before they reach Form 3, you heard the report that kid, Mrs. Bacchus played just now, Bacchus Baptiste played just now. 90 go in, by the end of the 5 years, 30 graduate. And it's not that they can't make it. The curriculum did not change to cater to varied ability students. CARICOM made it mandatory that skills be taught in schools. You can get a CVQ at 2 levels, whatever skill it is, whether plumbing, mechanic, what you want to do, scuba diving, whatever it is. But you have to make sure the criteria is set up. And added to that, when you set up the criteria and you teach them in school, you also have on-the-job training. So when you finish training from at the secondary level, from whatever business place, and you have you're certified, maybe that same business place will be able to call you back because I like how you perform. So I will call back Joan, I will call back Tom, I will call back Mary. But all and most of our Caribbean countries around us have done it. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the only country which have not implemented at the secondary school level. A born in shame. And thereby, our young people are suffering today because of the lack of care. the lack of heart of this ULP government, and we must get rid of them. The ULP, because of the lack of vision and foresight, they have created a job crisis in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The IMF said, apart from the 26% nationally and the youth employment, it said that the unemployment rate is highest among graduates of secondary school. So when you have half done dropout, above that, or 60% done dropout, the rest that remain and graduated still cannot get a job because nothing is happening for them. And I heard, it is K, I want to inform you that even some of these schools, he spoke about 30, 90, and 30 come out, or whatever percent she gave. Do you also know that not all schools send the students to do math and English? So when you hear the percentage, you must also know it's not the whole student population who are in Form 5 who got the opportunity to do math and English, so that our passes in math and English would be less if everybody had gone, because some schools separate and do the division in order to look good. They're not studying the students and what they needed. That is why when they're ready to go to college, some people have 6, 7 subjects. They don't have the math and the English, so they can't get into college. So how could they get a job? They can't get into college in order to do what they want to do, to progress. How can they get a job? We cannot afford another 5 years of the ULP. We cannot afford it. We can't. It is a matter of survival. It is a matter of survival. And people, I'm saying to you, if you want a better life and you want to survive in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we must vote them out. It's a matter of survival.
Get rid of them for 40 years they boast and brag. But all they give we was big in a bag. What they can do
in the Southern Grenadines, going to education. Just a couple of months ago, was it last year, we said we had a school improvement drive. And all schools were supposed to be improved, updated, and whatever, all the nice words they used, and how many millions of dollars were spent. But I am sure that if you go to some of the schools, even in your constituency, you will still see the deplorable conditions that some of these schools are in. You still have leaking roof, doors falling apart, coming off of the hinges. In the Grenadines, where water is essential, could you fix one part of the school and the spouting when it rains, all the water going on the ground? If the spouting not going, the water not going on the ground, it is full with trees and muck and everything. And you have people from Braxa who are there going to the schools every day and doing nothing, and volunteers have to go in and clean the schools. I visited a school in the Southern Grenadines, the Grass High, and I don't know those of you who ever go down there and you see these trees with the broad bush and everything, you call them bun bush. It touch your skin, you scratch for days. All of that still there in the schoolyard. And yet we talk about we are a caring government and you're ready for school to open. How can we do that to our young people? We could never do that. It's a burning shame. And we say we spend millions. But look at our schools today. Look at the condition of our schools today. So then, years ago, this going on years, more than 15 years, you take the school and you move it to what you call the Society Hall. Because the Union Island Secondary School is right behind it. When you finish building the Union Island Secondary School, that was years ago, you move the children from Mary Hutchinson and carry them up to Union Island Secondary School. In the meantime, while they were at Union Island Secondary School, you never fixed the Mary Hutchinson Primary School. Now that with the previous school where they are in now, which housed the Union Island Secondary School, that fall apart, cracking up and all the same thing. You move them out from there and put them in a resource center, which is hot, hot, hot. You feel like you're in hell. Now you want our students and our teachers to perform. The literature says, in order for our people to perform, in order for the teaching and learning to take place, you must have a stable and comfortable environment. And you know what? Teachers almost had to talk to protest and complain for you to buy some fans and send it down to the school. And when you buy the fans, you couldn't put them up because there was nothing to hook them up with. You don't care. You're not a caring government. The little things you can't get right. And if you can't get the little things right, how could you get the big things right? That is why there is so much failure in this government. And we must ensure that come election day, you could sit down and afraid, but you have to call it. You have to call it. When you look at the wharf, port development, there's a need for port development in the Grenadines. Since 2002, I have been complaining about the Canawan Wharf. When it rains, it's like a pond in the middle. When it's drying out, it's mud. Could you imagine going on the ferry and you have to jump over here? When you're done, you have to jump back over. So, yeah, man. In order to go for your goods, when it is rainy, it's muddy. Water settle all over. When it is dry, when you're going out to the wharf and the wind is blowing, you have to be like an Arab, cover down your whole face and turn your back. You must get sick with all this dust. And you know what? Since 2002, you complain, you get an estimate, you get a contractor. Later down, halfway through the term, you ask the question again, 2000, and it's going so almost every year, And every time you ask, the estimate gone up, and you get a different contractor. And still, we are here waiting for the wharf in Canawan. The one in Myro, the platform. Man, if you see that, it's horrible. So many times we have near accident happening there. People, other times, on other occasions, have been seriously damaged on this wharf, which the government refused to fix. And we cannot let that go on. But I have news for the people of the Southern Grenadines. The NDP has a plan for growth and for jobs. Under our team, we have set out a plan that will transform not only the Southern Grenadines, but this entire country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I am sure, we have been having these virtual meetings, and you would have seen the plans as they're rolled out, by various candidates from the constituencies, taking into account the needs of our people. In the Southern Grenadines, we will embark on port development. And when we say we embark on port development, we'd also have terminal buildings. And these terminal buildings will have places that you can shelter. You'll have boutiques. We'll transform the whole area. If you look at the Clifton waterfront, I don't know if you have seen, if the pictures are up as yet, and you look at it as how it is. And we decided one of our projects will be the transformational development of that area. I mean, one time I standing up right at the square, and I'm looking out to see if the ferry coming. And there's 4 tourists. They came and they stand up alongside me. I looking for the boat, but I didn't let them know that, because they said, wow, what a beautiful sight. I guess you are here looking out at, you're looking at it. So magnificent. Now, when we put in our development plan, they won't have to stand in the road, because they will be able to go to one of these small shops, whether to buy boutique, whether to buy small shops and boutique, whether they're going to buy souvenir wraps or whatever they have, because we are going to give our people the opportunity. We are going to give them the opportunity to earn a living, thereby creating jobs for our people. And this sort of development is not only taking place in Union Island. We have this space in Myro and also in Canawan, in order to say to our people, we care about you. We are working for you, and we will make sure that under a new Democratic Party government, your lives will be better. We also will be embarking on administrative building in Union Island. You know why? Decentralization is important to the people of the Southern Grenadines. Decentralization. Sometimes some of the basic services, you have to travel to St. Vincent or get somebody to do it for you. A board paper is $15. The ferry, well, they vary in prices. One is, if you're coming from Union Island, it's 70. The other one maybe 80. One is 65. One way to get a boat. So when you add them up together, it depends on which one you take. Let's $140 to come up to get a boat paper for $15. You see the sort of problems we are having? And we need our form of local government in these islands. You must have local governments in order to take care of the needs of the people. We need a proper administrative buildings and put the requisite measures in place in order to cater to our needs. I want to deal with this. I know last year you had the trip to Myro. And I don't know how many of you cash may have run out because so many nice foods and things to buy. And you may have wanted to buy another something, right? And instead of coming to me and say, oh gosh, Oliver, my money run out, I want a little something. You could have gone to an ATM machine on the island and get something, but I want you to know there's no banking system in Myro, not even an ATM. So picture this. Tourist boats coming in. The tourists, these days, they're walking with plenty cash. And they may want something. All right? Go to an ATM, get a little money and all of that. They come ashore, they may dine tonight and they love it and want to go back. And suppose if people where they're dining don't have this little machine with the card, what happened to you? You're stuck on board and you can't get what you want. And then the people of Myro suffer for that. We in the New Democratic Party would also take care of that to make sure that Myro has the same opportunity as any island with banking facilities. We are going to take care of that. And I'm saying to you tonight, there are more plans, but they put me last. And when you Batman last, he didn't have much runs to make and the time ran out and the test match done. But yeah, what? There are other plans which you would hear about as we go on. But enough is enough. The ULP have been there too long. It's time for a change. And if you want St. Vincent and the Grenadines to go forward, take my word for it. Look at some of these things that you have seen. The situation in the Southern Grenadines and in many constituencies, they have no ideas. They have no plan. Vote for the party with a vision, strong leadership, and a team that can take you forward and make your lives better in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you.
Get rid of them. 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 Get rid of them.
Well done, well done. Come on and give it up for the Southern Grenadines. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The dynamic team of the New Democratic Party here tonight on yet another virtual platform. Before I go any further though, I was to mention a little earlier, of course, you know the New Democratic Party, we have been giving away some limited edition Friday t-shirts, and we've also been giving away some iPhone SE. So tonight we're going to announce the winner of another iPhone SE, and we got to say congratulations to Claudia Henville. You just won yourself an iPhone. So of course, members of the New Democratic Party will be in touch with you and let you know where and when and how you can collect your new iPhone. So congratulations to you. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our virtual meeting tonight. Come on and give it up. Give a round of applause to all our speakers tonight. We are the New Democratic Party, and we're telling you people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and sending a message to the ULP. and the Prime Minister, stop wasting time. It is time to ring the bell. The people of this country are ready for the change and ready to vote for the new Democratic Party, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of all the members of the NDP, all the speakers tonight, we say thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. Good night. And until we meet again, NDP again, 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 and again.
Yellow Army, Pauline, rescue mission time. In this country, sweet SVG, we have a problem. Time for it to end. Chase all those corrupt men. The ULP, so power hungry. Bold face as can be. Everything for one family. They bleed in the treasury. Save we country, vote NDP. Yellow Army, come join with me. For prosperity, please support the key. Save we country, vote NDP. Yellow Army, come join with me. For